What is up, guys? Brad here bringing guys another OBA. I think this is week. I'm not quite sure what this week is. I actually lost track, to be honest. I think it's actually week 11 or 12 or 13. I'm not quite sure. I lost track at this point. But if you guys are hyped for this, feel free to drop a like down below. And if you are new, subscribe as well. Very, very long match. So I'm just going to go over my sets really quick and hop into this. Bringing a sub setup Manaphy with the Tail Glow, sub, Ice Beam, and Scald. Choice Scarf Flygon because it matches insanely good against his draft with the U-Turn, Rock Slide, Earthquake, and Dragon Claw. Bit of a different crest with max defense, max special defense with both dual screens, Psychic and the Moonlight. Basically set up the screens, get a swap out into Manaphy, set up a sub or a Tail Glow, and pretty much try to take them down as many monsters as possible. Was my plan behind that. Bring in the Arcanine, pretty much the same set as last time. Yeah, it's pretty much the same set as last time. Nothing really to go over there. Skarmory, pretty much bringing the same set as last time as well. Instead of last time, I'm actually I think instead of Spikes, I'm actually running Whirlwind instead. I think either that or it was Rock Slide last time. I'm not quite sure. But pretty much the same set with this Custop Berry, and bringing Stoutland, just because I have Sandstorm on Skarmory as well. Just maybe I can take advantage of the sand and stuff like that. My opponent also dropped Klefki for Gengar, which is something to note. Also, 100% did not expect him to bring the Mega Manectric, just because he gets flat out walled by Lantern, and he does not bring the Mega Manectric. So I pretty much predicted pretty much everything that he did not bring last time, that I prepped for in our last match, which he pretty much brings everything else. He also dropped, I think, I'm not quite sure what else he dropped, but he actually picked up Aggron as well. We're going to hop right into this because it's a long-ass match. Literally almost an hour match, guys. I'm going to try going through this very, very, very quick. I'm going to lead with my Manaphy, predicting him to lead with either the Nidoking, or the Nidoqueen, or the Braviary. Get that prediction right, I actually end up getting an Ice Beam here. Go for the Ice Beam just because I predicted him to go out into the Whimsicott, which he does not do, but I do pick up a nice freeze here. I'm assuming he's going to set up his rocks there or something of that nature. Maybe T-Bolt. I'm not quite sure if Nidoqueen gets T-Bolt off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it does. He goes right out into Gengar here. I'm able to get some nice solid Ice Beam damage off right here. At this point, I also wanted to make him think that my Manaphy was Choice Scarfed. The reason why I could have set up a sub right there as well, which I was debating whether to do. But at that point, Whimsicott was still too much of a threat, and I really didn't want to set up that too early in the game and reveal my whole set. He does go for the Thunderbolt here, as I have really no switch into Gengar, which is kind of the downfall of this team. My best switch in is probably Crest, and it gets blocked by Shadow Ball if a light screen is not up. So, least valuable Mon in this match is Stoutland at this point, judging by his team. Able to go for the Crunch here. He might have predicted the Scrappy as well, since I did not show him the Intimidate. He actually Rocky Helmet. I'm assuming this thing is defensive by that damage as well, so defensive Nidoqueen. Not really too much of an issue. It's easily dealt with by my Manaphy, and I'm able to take it out right here. Pretty much trading, pretty much one Mon for one Mon here. Getting rid of his Nidoqueen for my Stoutland, which Stoutland really did not do anything in this match anyway, as it gets walled by Aggron. Even though I do have the superpower for it, I can bop it nicely, but if it is a sturdy Mon, has it sturdy, it can just bop me back. Able to come in with Whimsicott here and actually clean up my Stoutland. There was really no reason to switching out there either. Just wanted to see what move he had and get some information on this thing. Moonblast right there. I'm able to go right out into Snuff, the Arcanine here, my best switch. This thing also could have Stun Spore or Sleep Powder, which is something I did kind of prep for as well, or take note of. I really didn't prep for it, but I knew he could have possibly bring this matches. Predicting actually a switch into the Aggron. Going for the Will-O-Wisp here was my best play, and I'm able to catch the Dragonite on switching, which is huge. And he is not Lumberry, so I'm able to break the multi-scale and get a nice burn off on this thing. I'm going to go right out into Skarmory here. I want to set up my rocks ASAP, because it's very, very good against his Dragonite if he wants to switch out and play switch out shenanigans, and his Braviary upon switching, even though his Braviary more than likely carrying Defog for rocks. He does carry the Fire Blast, which I knew either was going to be carrying Fire Punch or Fire Blast, but he is at +1 or -1, +1 speed now, which I can still deal with this thing. Maybe I should have went for the Whirlwind right there. I still would have had a Skarmory, but at that point, if I would have Whirlwinded, it would have either went into Gengar or something like that, and I could easily be revenge killed. My Custop Berry does pop here, able to do a solid amount with Brave Bird, which is nice. He's able to take me out with another Fire Blast. I was hoping he actually would miss there, but he does land the Fire Blast, so good play by my opponent, just going straight up for the Fire Blast. I was debating actually whether to go. He was probably going to go for Roost there. If he had carried Roost, I expect him to go for it right there as well, and pretty much stall me out of recoil. Goes for the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw doesn't really do too much at -1. I set up the light screen here because it's going to die to Bird anyways, and more than likely the Gengar is going to come in on the next turn. So I wanted to set up the light screen over the Reflect. I know I can at least eat up Outrage or Dragon Claw. Very, very nice at -1 still. So wasn't really too worried about it. The Gengar does come in right here with the Stealth Rocks up, taking a little bit more damage. He actually shows me the Hypnosis here, which I was very, very surprised by. Maybe this was like a Hypnosis Dream Eater set, but I'm assuming it was like a standard set with this Hypnosis at this point. Maybe Sludge Bomb, Shadow Ball, and T-Bolt, which he had revealed. Either that or I still had in the back of my mind either a Sleep or a Hypnosis Dream Eater set, which really wouldn't be the most common thing, but oh well. I swear, you cannot put Cresselia to sleep for long, because I get a first turn wake up here and actually end up getting a Psychic off, which is nice. Able to get some decent damage off on this thing. Really, it's resisted, but Aggron has shit special defense, and still does a decent amount for Cresselia. Getting the Reflect up here, he actually goes for Head Smash. By this damage here, he actually is Choice Banded. So it could be a bit of an issue. I kind of had to look out for it, even though he really can't touch Cress or Flygon if he's banded. Flygon kind of switches into it kind of freely if he keeps going for Head Smash. Just going to go for the Moonlight here. He just go into Braviary here. I'm assuming he wants to get a defog off just because I have both my screens up and there is rocks on side of his field. There's really no way I can prevent him from defogging. Does get rid of both my screens, which kind of does suck, but at this point I can pretty much just fire off Psychics. I'm assuming this is more of an offensive variant as well, just judging by his team, and it seems to be more of an offensive variant as well. I do get the special defensive drop, which gives him a +2 boost, which is a bit scary, but then again, he still cannot one-shot me or take me out from the range I'm at, so it really wasn't too big of a threat. I'm assuming he does not carry U-turn as well, just because he had the hard switch there. I go for another Psychic, hoping to take him out with a special defensive drop, which I would have. On oncoming Whimsicott here, I do get some decent damage off here, which is nice. Now right here, I'm going to switch out into Arcanine. Arcanine is pretty much my best switch in for this thing every time, even if he does want to go for the Sleep Powder or the Stun Spore. Arcanine really is pretty much just here to counter the Whimsicott. Otherwise, it gets pretty much bodied by everything else. Maybe throw a Willow-Off on the something, maybe the Aggron or something, but he does go for the Stun Spore here, which kind of sucks. As it does come into play during this match, and it's probably the overall factor in deciding this match, definitely. I just go for the U-turn here. So far he has a Stun Spore, U-turn, and Moonblast. I'm assuming either Giga Drain or maybe Encore as his last move, something like that, or maybe Leech Seed. I just go into Donald Trump right here. Now right here, this is where Paralysis is very, very key. Now right here, this Braviary would have been taken out with Flare Blitz if I did not get fully paralyzed. So this thing is pretty much just came in for free with no rocks damage as well. So this Braviary at this point in the game would have been gone if I did not get fully paralyzed. And I would not have worried about it. So he would not have no way to defog away my screens either, so I could set up my screens with Cress as well. He's going to try rule stalling me until I get fully paralyzed, which kind of is a dickish move, but I do see how he can try doing that, just trying to play to win, which if I were him I probably would have did the same thing, so I wasn't really too mad about it at the time. But my Flare Blitz is doing about 2 to 3% more than he's getting back with Roost, so he cannot sit and root stall me the whole time. Luckily I did not get fully paralyzed on the last 2 turns, otherwise this thing would have been more of an issue. And again, if I did not get paralyzed on the turn this thing actually came in, this thing would have already been gone. I wouldn't not have to deal with it later game. I just go into the Gengar here again, and guess what? I'm fully paralyzed again as I go for a Flare Blitz. So pretty much 2 times, 2 crucial turns, I get fully paralyzed. The Braviary would have been gone already. The Gengar would have been gone already. With 2 Flare Blitzes, I get fully paralyzed on. I know I can take a Shadow Ball from this range. I can pretty much take out this thing. Again, if I did not get fully paralyzed the turn before and the turn this thing came in, these 2 Mons would have been already gone, and I still would have my Arcanine around at this point. So definitely game-changing paralysis, full paras, definitely game-changing. So my opponent got very, very lucky there with those 2 paralysis. He's able to go into Whimsicott here, Moonblast or Giga Drain. Takes me out both of them if he had Giga Drain. I didn't know at this point, but he does show me the Giga Drain. If I were him, I just went for the Moonblast to keep the last slide. I guess he wanted to get back my HP, which I guess really doesn't matter because he had leftovers anyways. But if I were him, I would have just went for the Moonblast. Maybe he thought I was going to switch out, but I really wasn't. There was really no point in saving my Arcanine. Best switch in right here is my Cresselia. He does go for the Sunspore. Really not too worried about it because Cress really isn't meant to be fast. It's meant to just sit in here and set up my screens to take hits. At this point, I just need to start weakening some things to the point where Flygon can maybe come in and start clicking Earthquake or Dragon Claw. I need this Whimsicott out of the way so I can spam Dragon Claw. Is something I really needed. Just gonna keep going for Psychic here, hoping to maybe snag a crit, which I do not. I was hoping to snag a crit on that turn. At this point in the match, I do not snag a crit. I need this Whimsicott gone. He does go for the U-turn here. Really doesn't do too much. It does absolutely nothing in my opinion. Then again, Whimsicott really has like no physical attack. It's more special and more of a support. He does go into the Aggron here. As I do get fully paralyzed, again, this one really didn't matter too much. I would have went for Psychic and I would have got a little bit of damage off, but that full parry really didn't matter in my point, or my favor there. Head Smash, Banded Head Smash is going to be able to take me out at the range, and I'm I am paralyzed, so I'm not able to outspeed. I am able to go out into the Flygon here. I go for the U-turn at this point because I think he's going to actually go out and sack his Braviary. Now this pretty much is the game changer right here. He goes for Head Smash, he actually stays in. If I would have went for Earthquake right there, I would have had a possibility of actually cleaning up the game still. I overpredict, he actually stays in. Maybe I should have went for the Earthquake and went straight forward of a play, but I really thought he was going to go out into the Braviary and sack it off, predicting an Earthquake. Now at this point, there's really no way I can win because I'm Choice Scarfed and I'm locked into Earthquake. So his Braviary, that really should have been gone already, just due to a full para on my part. Him getting super lucky. This thing should have already been gone. So he pretty much wins due to hacks here, which kind of pissed me off towards the end of this match. I was getting really frustrated just because he got two full paras on two of my Mons, and his Gengar and his Braviary could have been gone way sooner than they were. So two full paras kind of won my opponent the match here. Granted, I did get a freeze, but the freeze really didn't matter too much because Manaphy was still a 2 KO on that thing, or the Nidoqueen, so with Ice Beam or Scald. So I really don't know why he sacks the Whimsicott there when he pretty much knows I'm Choice Scarfed, and he could have just went for Brave Bird. So he pretty much just sacks his Whimsicott there. Whimsicott would have took 30 to 35% from Earthquake, which it was around that range, so it does take it out. So my opponent actually sacks his Whimsicott, bringing this down to a 1-0, which I was very, very surprised by. I'm not quite sure why he sacked his Whimsicott if he would want differential. If I were him, I would have kept my Whimsicott round because I would have knew this guy was Choice Scarfed. And my opponent's able to win with a Braviary that should have been gone longer in the match. Again, my opponent really, really wins here just due to two full pairs. The Gengar and the Braviary would have been gone way sooner than I actually end up killing them. Those two wouldn't have been gone. At that point, I would have been able to come in and pretty much set up screens freely and not have my Cresselia threatened by pretty much nothing. The only thing I would have to worry about would be the Aggron, but once I get both my screens up, I would have been able to take a Banded Head Smash from the Aggron, able to set up a sub, and then on the following turn, go for the Scald, and then at that point, Whimsicott would have came in, broke my sub with either Giga Drain or Moonblast, and I would have taken it out with an Ice Beam, and at that point, I would have won the match. So definitely two full pairs won my opponent the game. Even though it came down to 1-0, I'm not quite sure why he sacked Whimsicott when he knew I was Choice Scarfed. Maybe just a misclick on my opponent's part. I'm not quite sure how you can misclick that, but kind of a devastating loss here. A really devastating loss. I prepped very, very well for this match, and I was kind of pissed off afterward just because there was really nothing I could do about it. I pretty much RNG fucked me over in this match. This was my match to win as well. I really needed this win. At this point, I still need one or possibly two solid wins, so I have to get a win next week, definitely. I definitely have to do some solid prep next week now, just because I got a loss this week. If I would have won this week and next week, I would have been guaranteed playoffs, but now I have to win next week to have a very, very good chance of still making playoffs. So, yeah, well, there's nothing I can really say, guys. Again, hacks kind of fucked us over in this match. Two full pairs that really mattered. At this point, it's kind of wrapping the season up as well. There's only, I think, 2 or 3 more weeks left until playoffs. Well, I guess 3 if you want to count this week, but this week's pretty much over now. So I guess 2 weeks. Next, our opponent's going to be the LA Lucarios and John 2. Going to do some very solid prepping for that match. I need to win that match to be guaranteed playoffs, or have a very good chance of going to playoffs. And I guess I have to go against John Mark as well again. I think not this week, but the next week after, which I really don't expect to win. But at that point, if I win this next week's match, I pretty much have a very solid chance of making playoffs still. So I really don't think I have to win both matches of this rest of the matches of the season. I need to at least win one though. So definitely very nerve-wracking, very anxious to get a next win here, just because I need to make it to playoffs this season. I never did it last season. I have a very good chance this season. I really don't want to fuck it up. So going to be doing some very good prep for this next match coming up here against the LA Lucarios. Then I have to go against John Mark again. But kind of sad. There's really nothing I could do in this match. I got fucked over by RNG hacks. My opponent pretty much won it because of that. Granted, I did get a freeze, like I said before, but the freeze really did not matter in the end. It was bound to go down by, if you would not have switched out at least, by the mana fee anyways on consecutive turns, because Ice Beam or Scald would have killed it at that point. So, again, really didn't matter. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this. If you want more videos like this in the future, feel free to drop that subscription button down below for more videos, and leave a like as well. Really helps me out. I also will be having a possibly a 500 subscriber special Q&A video going up sometime in the future here. I know it's a bit late, but I really haven't had time to do one or throw it up on the channel. So basically a video where you guys ask me questions in the comments, and I'll make a separate video answering all the questions. So other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you guys enjoy. See you guys next week with another OBA match.